You're listening to episode 952 of the Father Bills podcast. Welcome back. This week's episode is entitled, Are You a Fanatic? Given on the solemnity of our Lord Jesus Christ, King of the Universe, 2024. Question of the day, who is your king, your Lord? Now, on the surface, the correct answer might seem obvious, especially since we are celebrating Christ, the King of the universe, right? But consider this. Is it that way all the time? I'd like to offer maybe a deeper reflection to help us kind of reveal where it may not be always the case. But let's start with a simple question. Who do you most admire? Is it a coach or a celebrity or a politician, a neighbor, a teacher, your spouse or a friend? Perhaps it's a sports team or an actor or an athlete, a musician or a singer. For some, these individuals might be like distant figures. They've never met them, but others, maybe you've had a fleeting encounter. It's like a one-time moment to shake their hand or say hello. See, for some, they could hold these individuals in places that could actually be problematic for our hearts and problematic for our lives. Here's an example. During my youth, around my 4th to 8th grade years, I learned about football. And I became a Pittsburgh Steelers fan through the encouragement of a friend. What started innocently enough, though, grew into something much different. I started spending a lot of time playing football with my friends in the neighborhood, pretending to be one of the Steelers players. And, of course, I had to battle which one I'll get. If they wanted one, I had to have the other. I would put up posters and memorabilia all around my bedroom. If anything Steelers would come about my ears, I'd perk up. Ooh, what's going on? There's Steelers pencils? Ooh, yeah. My life started to revolve around the Steelers. Now, it's not wrong to be a fan. But in my case, this escalated into something excessive. Let's say excessive enthusiasm. See, I wasn't a fan, but something more intense. A fanatic. A fanatic. Some people may use the word super fan, but I think now, look back on it and go, that's just a term that attempts to normalize a disorder in order just to not deal with the issues. Because I had issues. I still got issues. When I was in the 8th grade, we had a health class and they explored the various psychological disorders that are about. And it was then that I learned about obsessive compulsive disorder. It dawned on me that I'd crossed a line somewhere. After much reflection and courage, I realized my interest in the Steelers was way out of balance. And so I strove then to make changes, like removing all the Steelers posters and stuff in my room, except for the one poster, Terry Bradshaw. I couldn't let him go. But see, now, by the time I was a senior in high school, I stopped altogether tracking them and all their news and events and things. And during my time at seminary, the Steelers went to the Super Bowl and lost. And though saddened, I really didn't actually follow their season, and it didn't matter much to me that they lost. Today, I still support the Steelers, but my well-being is not wrapped in their wins and losses. Steelers like Terry Bradshaw or Ben Roethlisberger or the new quarterback Russell Wilson, formerly from the Seahawks, are not my idols, nor saviors, nor my kings. They are merely humans like me, but with special skills. You see, Jesus is the only true king. He deserves my whole time and attention and worship. No other can give me joy beyond understanding, or grace to do what would be otherwise impossible, or patience with the unbearable, or love of my enemies. Nope, only Jesus can do that. Now, perhaps you can apply this to your favorite, let's say, teams or hobbies or pursuits. For as we heard in the readings, the first and the second reading today, it's only Jesus who has all dominion and glory and kingship that will never be destroyed. He will never lose. His kingdom, though, is not the gridiron, but our hearts and heaven. So ask the question quietly, or I'll ask it and you answer quietly. Are you a fanatic about something? What consumes your thoughts, time, and attention? And where does that align or not align with your faith? Is Jesus the center of your life? It's an important question that I have to ask myself. You see, I don't get a pass just because I'm a priest. In fact, maybe I'm judged more harshly because of it. See, Jesus taught us to put him first in our lives. Like, where's that? I'm glad you asked. Luke 14, chapter 14, verse 25. Start with that. And he basically said this: if anyone puts father, mother, wife, children, brothers or sisters, or even his own life before me, he cannot be my disciple. Oh. But don't we love all of these people? Yes. And these are hard words. The standard seems impossible, right? But be mindful. He's not calling us to drop everything and join a monastery. Nor are we then just simply to dismiss it because it's too hard or it's too much of a challenge. But rather, Jesus has given each of us a calling that is wrapped up in our gifts that he's given us. Again, NFL, I see players who have Jesus as number one in their lives. It's their priority. The quarterback for the Browns, who just beat my Steelers on Thursday, was interviewed, and he was giving praise to God. See, these players, they will give praise when they win and when they lose, and especially when they lose or fail. You see it when they've maybe made a tackle and they pick the opponent up, or when they've actually have a foul that they shouldn't have done, they admit it and they move on. See, they found a way to love God through their accomplishments, not around them. And they don't keep it to themselves. They have a platform and they use it to share the gospel. See, they're not to be silent. None of us are to be silent. We're to be living the life and use words if necessary, as St. Francis is known for saying. Jesus is more than just an ordinary person or another religious leader. He is our God, our Creator, the reason we exist. The laws of physics and science depend on him. Our ultimate happiness resides in him. Our ability to go to heaven is only through him. And he is the King of the universe, our Lord, our Messiah. And beyond that, if it is possible to even conceive, he loves you. The King of all things loves you personally. He created you out of love for you. And he wants you to thrive as his disciples in this world so that you may join him in the next. And the best news is that Jesus, the King of the universe, will be coming back again. So let's ensure our priorities are aligned with his. Let's open our hearts to his presence in the Eucharist today, and not let ourselves be distracted by obsessions that lead us astray. You see, Jesus is not looking for mere fans or fanatics. He's seeking out true disciples. Thank you again for listening to this episode of the Father Bill's podcast. If you have any questions, just go to my website, fatherbill.org, FRBILL.org. And there you can see what's going on with other podcasts. You can email me. I have my Friday reflection there and many other things. Some photos, my astronomy specifically photos and other things. So, and there's a liturgy page there as well. If you're wondering like what the saint is of the day and where you can find the scriptures for the week, go there as well. In the meantime, may God bless you and have a great week. Bye-bye.